Hi there. We're doing a video presentation on the effects of coefficient of static friction. Basically, what we're investigating is the effects of rubber on glass. And in this experiment, what we did, well, there was two parts, but on the second part, just to kind of sum up what happened, is we had a piece of rubber. It was actually a little eraser on a piece of glass. This glass was elevated to some distance, and what was also known was the hypotenuse, how long this piece of glass was. So using some basic Pythagorean theorem, I was able to go about and say, hey, if I know what the height is and the hypotenuse, I can figure out what x is. So what we did is we did this, and we came out with the following test conclusions. I was able to raise this piece of glass up 8 inches on my first try. On the second try, 8.25 inches. And on the third try, 8.375 inches. Now, given that this piece of glass was 13.25 inches in length, I can say that if I know my height being 8 inches, we can therefore use Pythagorean theorem, take the square root of the hypotenuse, which is 13.25 inches, and square it, and then subtract off the height, and that will give us the horizontal distance. And the height was 8 inches, so we square that. And what that gives us is x equaling about 10.56 inches. Now, to find the coefficient of static friction, all that I have to do is take the height, divide it by that horizontal distance, and that will give us our coefficient of static friction, which turns out to be 0.758, rounded. So basically, as I was able to go about and figure out about when this thing started to slip, I was able to get a little bit higher, and I ended up with a maximum coefficient of static friction of 0.815. So to sum it up again, if you're trying to find out the coefficient of static friction, all you need to know is the height in y, and you need to know a hypotenuse. That might be a little bit easier if you can figure out, if you're testing on a piece of glass or a piece of wood. If you know this length, you can use Pythagorean theorem to figure out this. And then take your y, divide it by x, and that will give you your coefficient of static friction.